So I've always had a soft spot for the Porsche 911. I think they have sleek designs and great reliability and incredible performance, and they're typically a great value. Until recently, when I had the opportunity to drive a 991 generation GT2RS on track, and it just changed my perspective of the brand to the point where I'm not even sure I even want to ever own one. And that's what we're gonna go ahead and dive into today. So I was down in Vegas for the SEMA show, and they had Speed Vegas out there, which is an amazing facility where you can go and pay a fee and drive out on their racetrack with a variety of supercars and just have a great time. They put a coach in with you in the passenger seat to help you navigate the course, learn the course, understand how the cars drive and behave, and have a great time. And I went out there, and the first day I went to drive a 488 Pista, but unfortunately upon arrival they discovered that the Pista was down for service, and so I opted to get extra laps and go into a base 488 GTB. Now this was of course before I'd purchased my 458 Italia, and so I was just trying to get a feel for what type of Ferrari I wanted to purchase. And so we go out, have a amazing time in the 488 GTB, and it performed incredibly well. It was very intuitive and gave great feedback. Loved the sounds it made, loved how it performed, and I was able to turn a very fast time with that car on that track. And so later that week, had some more free time and decided, you know what? They had a GT2RS. I want to go ahead and give that a shot. So we called them up. Sure enough, they had room for me to go ahead and try out the GT2RS in their schedule, so we went back down there. So we went back, hopped in the GT2RS, and went out on track, and that's where the fun ended. I absolutely hated that car. And it was really interesting because I was faster in that car than I was in the 488 GTB, which I knew would expect because of all the extra aero and horsepower that it has. But also factor in, at this point, I had more laps under my belt at that track and more familiar with that track. So that's going to play a factor as well. The car, don't get me wrong, it's a monster. It is really fast and really a high performance vehicle. But for me, it didn't have the sounds that I liked, that I was used to in any of the other cars. And the feedback I was getting back from that car was almost non-existent. It was very numb in the steering, and the brakes I didn't feel any confidence in them, even though I know they stopped really well, but there was just no real feedback from it, and it just really felt like I was just playing a video game at home on my couch. And so it was really disappointing, and unfortunately it really turned me off from wanting to have one of those cars. I'm buying one, like maybe a Turbo S as just a cruiser or daily driver would probably be okay, but if I'm out doing any kind of high performance driving, any spirited driving, any track days, anything like that, that is not the car that I want to be having to go and do that types of activities with. It was really disheartening because I've always wanted to have at least one, if not multiple Porsches in my collection, but after driving that one, I was just really turned off and really surprised at how that car behaved on the track. I've heard from other people that, well, yeah, it's a German car. What do you expect? And I'm like, well, I expect a little more, I guess. So what are your guys' thoughts? Any of you out there have Porsche experience similar to mine? Am I off my rocker on this one and I should give the brand a chance again in the future? Or am I heading the right direction and should just steer clear of the brand altogether? I don't know. Those are more questions to have, and we'll see how things progress in the future and if I decide to give the brand another chance or not.